It should be a big story, but it's also extra special for today. It's a segment where we spotlight extraordinary things happening around us. And this time, it's something that happened this weekend, the very first of its kind this weekend, here in Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria, but also the center of excellence. Lagos was not only just buzzing with its usual energy as always, but history was being made on the waters as well. The city has become the very first African to host the E1 Powerboat World Championship, the world's inaugural all-electric powerboat racing series. With speed, innovation, and sustainability at its core, the race brings together elite teams, futuristic boats, and a global audience. And beyond the thrills on the Lagos lagoon, the event also shines a spotlight on Africa's role in embracing cleaner, greener sports technologies while showcasing Lagos as a hub for world-class sporting and cultural events, making it truly the aquatic state. Is that what it is? It is, yeah. Queen.
And joining us to break down what this means for sport, for the city, and for the continent is Babatunde Koiki, sports editor at News Central. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I don't know if I should stick to Tunde or Koiki. No.
Anyone? It was Koiki from Misha.
So, Tunde, thank you for joining us, and let's start with the big picture because Judy is so excited. They invited her to the party. I don't know why she did not go.
Can you not
we
put
had
my
to be
business out
here.
there?
Why is this event significant? You know that Lagos is the first African city to host the E1 Powerboat race.
That's an excellent question. When you consider the fact that, you know, across Africa, there are multiple lagoons. It's not only the Lagos, even in West Africa alone, I think there are
a coaster that runs through,
all the way to Dakar, Accra, Senegal. I mean, why Lagos? Well, the question, when I asked the same question to the Lagos state government officials, they said, why not Lagos? Lagos is probably, in itself...
Echo for sure.
Echo for sure. It's also regarded as one of the biggest economies in Africa, probably the largest in West Africa as well. So why not Lagos? It's the hub for commerce, for entertainment, for almost everything that you can think of. It's probably the most significant coastal city in the West African sub-region. Some will argue that maybe in Africa it also ranks behind the likes of, maybe Cairo and other cities as well, but it is a significant destination for foreign investment, for tourism. We all know what Dirty December has become now. It's a global phenomenon.
To Dirty December, I wanted to say, but
according to the Lagos State Government, Dirty December has officially kicked off.
Yeah, it was a prelude to this. That's what I think it is.
And I think at the opening ceremony at the Lagos Boat Club, and they showed that as well. There was music, there was fashion, there was food, it was just.
You not do that because I'm thirsting.
Well, you missed out. You missed out.
Quite
the event.
Yeah, because I'm tired. I don't even want me to go out again because I'm coming to work again.
So why not Lagos? Why not Lagos? That's the question. That was the answer that the Lagos State government and the sponsors gave.
So what would you say is the difference between the E1 Powerboat? Because I'm sure that a lot of people don't even know what this is. They just know that something's happening. Oh, I'm based.
There's traffic. What's going on again? Why is follow walk so shut down? What's going on?
So can you tell our viewers watching what is the difference between the E1 Powerboat and how is it different from our traditional water sports or motor racing?
Okay, so it's E1 powerboat racing is exactly what it sounds like. Electric. So these are electric powered boats. They are not powered by fossil fuel or wind as you normally find on water. And these are state-of-the-art technology that the world is promoting now for transportation. I mean, airlines and the shipping companies are increasingly looking at alternative forms of powering their transport modes either by air or by sea using non-fossil fuel technology, and E1 is at the forefront of that. And it's a relatively new sport, but it's quite phenomenal. I mean, it's been going on all across the world, multiple destinations. We have in Europe, in the Middle East as well. The grand finale is going to be in Miami. So you can imagine that this is interestingly how things that are meant for other things start out to be other things. For example, the internet, the WWE, the World Wide Web, as you know, was originally a military product. Meant for the military to perform secure communications from location to location. Yeah. We now know what it is right now. It is used worldwide as a center of basically our daily life. And this is what E1 is planning to do as well, using electric boats to be the future of transportation all across the world.
I have to ask, I mean, we live in Lagos, as much as we like to call it the capital of everything, entertainment, commercial, but there's also the issue that when one small fender bender, there's traffic already, and the entirety, of Ireland, or just somebody just mistakenly, it's at the end. The whole place is shut down.
True.
So this is a world-class event, and one has to talk about the preparedness of Lagos State. And first of its kind on the African continent, that also means that we have to set precedents. Given what yesterday in your observation and watching, I got to ask, what will be your score mark for Lagos hosting?
It's
Be honest.
It's difficult to say.
Be honest.
What are we talking about, generally, or in terms of traffic, traffic control?
Coordination.
We were not there.
Okay.
Be our eyes.
Okay, so
Let us celebrate.
Talk to me.
So if we're talking about the event proper, in terms of, do I say PR and comms, in terms of awareness, in terms of media friendliness, I would score the Lagos State government and the organizers is 2 over 10, because over the last few, yes, they've been doing quite a lot on social media, but the interesting thing is that they have not involved sports journalists. They've involved lifestyle bloggers, entertainment people, everyone that you can think of. I covered the first 2 press conferences for this event as a sports journalist. Subsequently, when the organizers came into town, they completely, that word we used, sidelined, fenced everyone who was in sports journalism. Only 2 sports journalists that I know actually made it to the event proper. They even flew in foreign journalists, which I found quite insulting. It's almost as if Nigeria
we never celebrate
doesn't have its own sports media industry. I found that quite insulting as well. As I'm speaking to you, I couldn't get accreditation.
Wait, you couldn't get accreditation?
Yes, as I'm speaking to you now, I've tried to get accreditation for my crew, both my entertainment crew and my sports crew, to cover the event. It didn't come through.
There was also conversations on social media as well. Sorry to cut you, Queen. There was also conversations on social media as well, where people were saying that they couldn't buy tickets to for viewing centers to view the event.
Exactly.
And when I saw that, I was like, of course, this thing is not for you, it's for the elite, for the bourgeois. And that's how we're trying to overthrow them.
They say it wasn't originally.
So where were the tickets? Did they sell any tickets?
To the best of my knowledge, okay, let me just say, I can't comment on that. But what I can comment on the fact is that the Lagos State government did its best in trying, traffic management, measures to ensure that everything was not disrupted. They also closed off sections of the 5 Cowrie Creek. Now, the 5 Cowrie Creek is actually that body of water on Falomo that separates Victoria Island from Ikoyi. So that's exactly where the race itself is taking place. An interesting trivia for you. It's called, why it's called 5 Cowrie Creek?
What?
Well, that was the toll that fishermen would pay back in the colonial times in order to use that body of water. So it used to be 5 cowries as a toll. So they call it 5 cowries creek.
We now the citizens that now the fishermen cannot pay to see what's happening.
Exactly. But to be honest, water sports is a global industry.
Right.
And when you consider the amount of money that it could possibly generate, and I look at the Lagos Lagoon every day, I drive past it, and I'm looking at it's just lying fallow. It's not being used for anything.
Right.
I mean, there's windsurfing, there's jet skiing, boat races. Nothing is going on.
Rowing.
Rowing. Yeah, there you go. I mean, you see that aura farming little kid on Instagram. Exactly. Yeah, you see him.
I was like, kid, I love it.
On the Lagos Lagoon, but it's not coming through. I mean, look at places like the Florida Keys. Now, they generate almost $2 billion worth annually in terms of water sports, provide 20,000 jobs annually. Now, you look at places like Miami-Dade. Miami-Dade is even bigger. They generate almost $4 billion worth of revenue annually from water sports alone. You can't say the same thing about Lagos.
So, Koiki, as you're reeling out the stats and just pointing out the opportunities that's left on the table, there's so much that's left on the table. One has to ask, as Lagos is positioning itself for investors and, investors' confidence in expanding on what is already available, I have to come back again to that preparedness. Do you think that we can do that? Do you think that we're ready for that type of sports? Because these are international competitions, championship. These are things that are happening across the pond overseas, and they're well established years in the making. Their rules. There, people who are making huge bucks from it, right? When tickets are not sold, when local journalists are not getting invited. By the way, you're not local. I don't even know what you're talking about. You're international. News Center is international. Don't play with me.
We are.
You know what I mean? So when you don't get invites as well, when traffic control is on a different conversation as well, where there's only a select few that's going in, one has to start to ask us questions about whether or not we really are doing the right thing.
It's a very interesting question because you also wonder, is this a partnership or is it basically a takeover? I mean, the organizers even brought in their own security. It was that bad. And if you get
partners are who now?
no. Okay, so Lagos partner with the UIM. The UIM is the company in charge of basically like FIFA at the World Cup. So FIBA and basketball. So the UIM are in charge of powerboat racing across the world. Now they brought in everybody, brought in journalists, brought in security.
So they brought in their own journalists.
Exactly.
Lagos State.
Exactly. So now the Lagos State now had started scrambling, trying to work with local journalists. They had the media, I think some kind of company who now, maybe like a media company, they now brought in a list of journalists who are not sports journalists, who are basically lifestyle journalists and influencers and entertainment. And you're wondering, is this a sport or is it entertainment? Yes, sport can be entertainment, but there should be a good mix, a good balance. In terms of the coverage. I get it that there's a place for entertainment journalists as well, but if it is a sport, there should be sports journalists reporting that. So I only know of 2 journalists who managed to make it, one of them from The Punch, the other people from Deutsche Welle, from BBC, they've been scrambling for accreditation as well. I don't know, but let's just temper this because it's the first edition. They can only learn from this.
Like you said, it's the first edition, and you said you covered the press conference, the first 2 press conferences.
Yeah.
And I would want to know who is the person that Lagos State allowed to be in charge of the conversations.
Yeah.
You're expecting something happening. Yeah, the liaison officer. Something is happening for the first time. It's huge. We already have disaster coming out of Africa, and then you're seeing something so magnificent, something that's supposed to help us in our economic growth.
Exactly.
And you are not prepared. Like you said,
People can help you amplify these stories. Nigerian journalists, Nigerian media,
because
who can help you pretty much
the sports people are supposed to be forefront. This is not lifestyle. Nobody's wearing Gucci and Balenciaga and stuff. That's not why we're here. We're here
there were fashion shows and there was
but the major point was sports. So thank you for throwing light on this.
I'm going to push this further. I know that we're getting the cue. I'm going to push this argument further and say that we are at the crossroads where journalism is starting to take the backbone out. Why? Is because people care about numbers and traffic and social media.
Yep.
Than the truth.
I have seen time and time again when opportunities pass me by because of my numbers of following on social media and whether or not I am for the glam. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Every single time it has happened, it always came down to the social following and my popularity on social media.
That's a fabulous point that you made.
And so as we are having this conversation, as we're wrapping things up, I want to sound the alarm on those who are watching. Before you come and say, you people are not doing your job, hear from the horse's mouth of what he had to go through.
Sports event and sport journalist.
It's a sports event. Koiki is not a small man in this industry. You know what I mean? Like, I already knew him before I met him. You know what I mean? Like, do you get? And here we are still talking about how difficult it is for us to do our jobs. We've talked about this before the break. We talked about this on air. How difficult it is for us to do our jobs because of social media influencers who don't have training. As far as they have a microphone and they have a following, they do the cover of the event for you. And with that, we say,